Hello, is Kyle available?
And available.
Hi, can you speak to Alan, please?
Is this Alicia?
Hi, is Anna available?
Yes, is Karen available? Hi Karen, this is Martin with the Washington Environmental Council. I'm a volunteer, and the reason I'm calling is about...
Initiative 1631. Have you heard of it?
Oh, terrific. So I assume you're a registered voter?
It's supported by over 400 groups like the American Lung Association and the Nature Conservancy.
This is a fee levied against the largest polluters in the state of Washington.
But big oil companies like Chevron and BP are spending more than $21 million to oppose it. So kind of given that, do you think we can count on you to vote yes on 1631?
We all know that. Oil industry has had a negative impact on Washingtonians' lives for decades now. We've been paying for their pollution, in the impacts they cause to our environment, our air and water, and the health impacts they cause, and in particular, the communities that can least afford are paying the most. Communities of color and low-income communities. In this state, as in most parts of the country, live in the most polluted zip codes of Washington, and the oil industry bears a lot of that responsibility.
Our communities are disproportionately having higher rates of asthma and respiratory issues, and that's not by accident. We were founded in 2008 with this vision that we can fight poverty and pollution at the same time, global warming at the same time, and we still hold true to that there's a different economy that we can have that's healthy for our people and our planet. So what's exciting about 1631 is that there are resources that can be invested into green infrastructure, in keeping communities together, in strengthening our food systems, in creating green jobs.
It makes sure that whatever funds are collected through the fee, that money will be reinvested in communities of color, especially in communities that are the most impacted.
We have a really incredible volunteer program, and this campaign is going to be won by people power. This is a classic example of organized money on the one hand, and on the other hand, we have the largest, most diverse and powerful movement that the state has ever seen come together behind any issue.
Okay.
We now have about 5,000 volunteers who have participated in the campaign, knocking on doors, making phone calls, sending texts, talking to hundreds of thousands of Washingtonians across the state about why this is the right step forward for our state, for our country, and for the world.
I think it might be one of the most comprehensive get out the vote efforts that's happened in Seattle, at least in recent memory.
216 and a half. Hi.
I think it's such a powerful model for how we can push through really just climate policy and have, a climate transition that centers justice and equity and isn't just about carbon or the environment, but it's really about communities as well.
Heat and injustice, it goes back to the way our economy is and the way it's set up, and it's hurting people, but it's also hurting the planet. We have to transition the economy, but we have to do it in a way that doesn't further hurt people, in a way that doesn't hurt workers, because workers make the world go round.
Let's think about how we can build the future that we want to see, how we can invest money into building that future, and how we can hold big oil accountable. Who's going to pay for this just transition? Well, it's going to be the people that brought us here in the first place.